We visited the Statue of Liberty National Monument in New York, New York on September the 19th, 2021. If you would like to get notices when I post again, be sure to subscribe right here. Just click on that button. To get there, we left Battery Park and took a tour boat to Liberty Island. We'll look at the statue and then we'll go to Ellis Island before going back to Battery Park. It was dedicated on October the 28th, 1886 and has 61 acres currently. The statue itself is 305 feet high. It's donated to us by France and has about 4.5 million visitors each year, so it is rather crowded most of the time. Subway down to South Ferry subway station. We're supposed to be meeting our guide at One Battery Park Plaza, but we find out after we arrive by email that tour has been canceled for 10 o'clock and we're going to have to take the 2 o'clock one in Spanish. We're going to look around a little bit before we do that. This is the places that we're going to be eating. Deborah will be having a Nathan's original hot dog, and they were pretty good. Then after killing a couple of hours, we meet our guide.
New York, my name is Manuela, I'm Italian and I am a licensed tour guide here in New York City. So nos vamos a visitar esta mañana la Estatua de la Libertad y también la isla Ellis, donde está el Museo Nacional de la Liberación. So we're gonna take 3 boats. The first is gonna go from here, Battery Park, to Liberty Island. We have time.
To protect New York City, there were 4 forts built just south of the tip of Manhattan. On Governor's Island, there was Fort J. On Bledlow's Island, there was Fort Wood. On Ellis Island, there was Fort Gibson. And then as a second line of defense, just off the tip of Manhattan, was Castle Clinton, built in 1812. You'll note, though, that it's on an island, for the Battery Park is an artificial filling that didn't happen until 1850, when they bought dredging from various places to fill in the land. By 1824, they didn't need the fort any longer, so it was called Castle Garden, and it was a concert venue. Then 30 years later, in 1854, it was the first processing place for New York immigrants. Note that this was 4 years after the landfill was added that we call Battery Park today. And then in 1892, immigrant processing was moved to Ellis Island for the entire United States. Now it's called Castle Clinton Monument again, and it's part of the National Park System. And now it's time to get on our ferry and head out to Liberty Island. We'll be taking this route from the Battery Park to Liberty Island to Ellis Island and then back to Battery Park. Here we go. This is New Jersey across the river. It doesn't take very long to get out to Lady Liberty, the Liberty Island, and we have to circle around it to get to the mooring place. Finally, we land and get off and start to look around Liberty Island some. Here you can see that Statue of Liberty is on top of a star fort, and at the far end is the Liberty Museum. We'll look at both of these. In 1865, Edward René Laboyer, a French politician and law professor, had a celebration at his house about the ending of slavery. He suggested that the French and Americans should build a statue to liberty to celebrate that great idea. Frederick Auguste Bartholdi was at that meeting, and he took up the idea. The French would fund the statue and the Americans would fund the pedestal. In 1871, to promote the idea, he came to America to talk with people and also look for a place to put the statue. Fort Wood was still on Bedloe Island at that time, and he thought it was the perfect site as he came into the harbor. They would incorporate the pedestal into the existing fort, and he recruited Alexander Gustave Eiffel, famous for his tower later on, to build the supporting structure because of the wind and weight of the statue needed to be supported strongly. The original idea was to have it constructed by 1876, our centennial, but that didn't work out. It was too complicated. So all they had done was the arm and torch, and they brought that to the 1876 centennial in Philadelphia. Later, the head and crown were made for the Paris Expo. The idea was to completely build the statue in France, then take it apart, put it in 215 shipping crates, and ship it on the Israel, a freighter, to New York City. But when it arrived, the pedestal was not ready. The Americans were having a major problem raising funds. Joseph Pulitzer, the publisher of the New York World, stepped forward to help. He published in his newspaper that if you made a donation, no matter how small, even a penny, he would publish your name in his paper. 120,000 donors came forward, all less than $1. It was enough money to finish the pedestal, and then they started putting together the statue. It took 4 months and was dedicated on October the 28th, 1886. The statue is dressed in a flowing toga to remind us of Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. Many think that the face is modeled after Bertolotti's mother, but he never actually said who it was modeled after. The torch was originally meant to be gilded and just shine in the sun, but the U.S. government wanted a lighthouse here, so they took that torch off and built a new torch with a light in it. Then later, during renovations, they put the torch that is there now back to what was the original idea. And you can see the one that was the lighthouse in the museum. In her left hand, she holds a tablet. It has the date of the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776, written in Roman numerals. The crown has 7 spires that stick from it to illuminate the 7 seas and 7 continents. The original name was Liberty, enlightening the world. Originally, they were thinking maybe putting a broken chain in her hand instead of a tablet, but instead they put a broken chain at her feet, and you can only see it from the air. It's there to represent freedom from slavery. With tickets, you're able to climb up into the pedestal now, but if you really want to go up higher to the crown, only 240 people are allowed each day, 10 in a group. It's 354 steps, no elevator, 22 stories, and you get to look out one of the 25 windows in the crown. The statue itself is 151 feet and 1 inches tall. The pedestal was designed by Richard Morris Hunt and originally meant to be 115 feet tall, but was cut down to 89 feet because of funding. The statue is covered with 300 sheets of copper, each only about the thickness of a penny, and they're riveted together. A memorial motorcycle was built out of some of the copper that was saved during the reconstruction a few years ago. We'll also go look at the Statue of Liberty Museum. And now let's listen to Emma Lazarus's poem.
Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my light beside the golden door.
After a quick look over at Lower Manhattan, it's time to head to the dock and get our boat for Ellis Island. And then it's time to leave and say goodbye to Lady Liberty.